Welcome to the Black Tower. I'm your host, your guide, your brother, Sorcerer Armanasul. Alright, so take 3 on this particular video. Keep having problems, don't know why. Alright, so for 3 days I have been, well actually a lot longer than that, for about a week and a half now. Been working solid with just PAZUZU. And it started with the whole wanting me to make a statue. And I was like, why in the world would I want to make a statue? Of a god of plagues and god of decay. Why would I want to do that? And he was like, because I can prevent that. And I was like, alright, I'll make it. However, I have no skills in making statues. I've never made one. And I told him straight up, look, I'll make it, but you're going to have to guide me through the process because I have no idea how to make a statue. Yeah. Alright, so this is the advice he'd given me. He told me to find a photo online of either a figurine or a necklace, something like that, but something full size. Run it off. Well, I did. Cut out the outline of it, have my clay ready, the thickness that I wanted it, and everything else. And put the design over top of it, take an X-Acto knife, cut out the outline. I was sitting there going, wow, okay. So I did this. And then take the top one, set it off to the side, and use it as a template to sit there if you're good with hand-eye, being able to look at something and being able to freestyle it over here. It's kind of like that. So with that being said and done, let me show you the mess that I came up with, okay? Now, I say a mess, but this works for me. All right, now, mind you, I absolutely have no skill, okay? But mine came out like that. I don't know how well this is going to come across. I wasn't for sure on colors and stuff like that. Him, of course, he is solid black. Like he's covered in tar or something. And he has, his mouth is filled with blood, and the best I can figure the reason why this is because if he is a god of plagues and things, one of them tuberculosis, and literally you have blood coming up all the time. So this made sense why he had a bloody mouth, because it didn't look like he'd been chewing on extra rare steak or nothing. And now the funny thing is he has these horns, but they curl back and then they kind of come up from behind. And I don't know how to explain this. If you ever get to work with him, you'll see what I'm talking about. However, his wings, I could not do justice on the color of his wings because they looked like beaten brass. Now, I don't know if any of you have ever read the Bible, gone off in Revelations, where they're talking about the different angels and stuff, and they're talking about, it's like beaten brass. And it's just really weird stuff in the Old Testament and then in the New for Revelations. But it was really interesting to me that this particular being appearing before me, and I was like, dude's wings look metal, and I've never seen that. And I've worked with angels. I've worked with archangels. I have worked with Isis. And I've seen the wings, but I have never seen metal wings. And I thought that was kind of weird because they do. At first I thought, are they bronze or something? And then I went to remembering, some of the metal pieces I've seen throughout my life, brass, and it's yellow brass. And I was like, wow, that is really freaking cool. And so for my statue, I chose as close to yellow brass as I could get. Because it may not be pretty, but it's mine. Now, I went and I made a flat piece. Now, I made sure that the base of the statue is flat, square, like that, can be cut out, right? And the reason why is because I made a base. And I cut a square in it, see? Just painted it red. Now, you will notice that right there, that there are... I don't know if you can see it or not. I probably don't have it right. Yeah, see those little indents? That's cuneiform. Now, I found PAZUZU's name in cuneiform. I took a pair of chopsticks, an X-Acto knife, and cut it into a perfect triangle that's 3 flat sides. And it pressed right in like clay. I was sitting there going, wow, that's really cool. And one of the points, you can go and drag it across the clay and make the lines. And so I put his name on that. Now, also, on the back of the figurine, I put his seal from the Simon Necronomicon. Carved it in there. Now, of course, later on, I'm going to go back and make sure I don't need another coat. I'll paint the sides and everything else, you know. Where his body would be, I'll paint black. Where his wings would be, I'll go in with the gold color that I have, which thankfully ended up looking like yellow brass. And then I'll take a clear coat and I'll spray over it later on, so that it holds the texture, so it doesn't flake or fall apart. Because I'm using air dry clay, ain't that expensive. I would have loved to have had better quality clay, but that's what I could afford. And so I used what I had and what worked for me. Now, the really interesting thing is that there's a lot of misconceptions about Pazuzu. A lot. I know he got ranked up there with the abominations and everything. But last night, I decided to take a bull by the horn, so to speak. And I got a little ballsy, and I'm like, I'm going to invoke Pazuzu. How do you invoke Pazuzu? I am glad you asked that. In some of my earlier videos, I was talking about Shamash, the sun god, and I was talking about the posture of Shamash, which is used in a lot of exorcisms. That particular posture is drew on one of the gates. It shows a figure with like two hands above their heads. That is the posture of Shamash. Well, lo and behold, all the statues that I've seen of Pazuzu, they're all the same. And I thought last night, I was like, So I put my back in direct south, but like to where the southwest would be on my left and the southeast on my right side. I visualized 4 brass wings behind me. I took my hand just like this, because in this particular statue, in these figures, he's shown with his hands like this, and they're lion paws. And I put it above like this, and my other hand just like this, but upside down, because it was down like at my side, but open hands outward. When I did this, I immediately felt, I don't know if it's from working with him over a week and a half or what, but I instantly felt his presence come in. I mean, I barely even had to say his name, and I was like, I invoke thee, Pazuzu, thou who art the protector of mankind. Enter me. He did, and it was really, really strange. Some of the things that were coming to me from having invoked him was really weird. He was a protector deity way before he was something to be feared. And that's really weird. He is the original protector of mankind. So if you believe in archetypes like guardians, watchers, things like that, Pazuzu is the original archetype, so to speak. And I thought that was interesting, and I've learned a lot of things from him. Also, I got my hands on a pine cone now. Oh, why a pine cone? Why is that so important? Because in a lot of ancient Mesopotamian drawings and depictions, they show these bird-headed figures holding a pine cone like this, and it's for cleansing and purifications, for exorcism, so forth and so on. Well, last night I got to perform an exorcism of sickness on my wife using Pazuzu, and because she's starting to develop strep throat. Well, yesterday she woke up and she couldn't breathe. It was like her throat was being constricted. So I got out my pine cone, broke out my hyssop, salt, sea salt, and made water. I invoked Nebo over Mercury, who's over the throat chakra. Anki, whose name was spoke 40 times, over the salt water, because he is the god of the 2 waters. And then, oh my goodness, I invoked Pazuzu to give it authority and power over it and to hold back the winds. I will say this. I honestly cannot understand why I ever felt hesitant or reticent to ever work with this particular deity. I don't know if it's just programmed that certain things are dangerous and all this, that, and the other, but because I do approach things with respect and what they're capable of doing, I was always hesitant work with these kind of things because I'm not trying to invoke them into my life. I'm not trying to pull them in. I'm trying to connect with them, to understand them, to bridge the gap between us, and create a bond of friendship with them. You know, if friendship can be attained or whatever you want to call it, whether mastery over and that being a part of yourself or what. But I will say this, if you can ever push the fears to the back of your head and use the posture I was just telling you about, the visualization, and put your back directly to the south, and make sure it's actual south-south, and visualize the 4 sets of wings, 2 up, 2 down. Right hand is up here, and the other one is down at your left side, hanging by your left hip. In the same posture, just reverse because your arm's straight down. Just call on. Try it. Very, very powerful, interesting deity that I don't think he got enough. I don't think he got enough fair shakes concerning his demeanor and his attitude. I began to better understand his viewpoint of the scapegoat, which I've always known about the scapegoat theory and how it was attributed to him. That they would give this goat, and he, pass by a city or whatever. But it was interesting to find out his concept of that. And I won't go into that, but it was interesting to listen to his take on that. But for each of you out there, a shout out to my brothers and sister at the Black Tower, and to all of you, my viewers out there. Hope this wasn't too crazy, too stupid. Till next time, I wish you peace, blessings, and power.